every day in South Africa, according to the statistics, 15 women being killed each day. And tonight, the president actually saying that, through the scarf, he's in solidarity, because yesterday he speaks about a crisis that is gender-based violence.
It is important that we're doing this symbolically, but I think we need to do more in terms of putting in laws, ensuring that women participate in the economy, the infrastructure is friendly to women. And if we do that, I think it will go a long way to ease the pressure. But at a global level, I think this is the right platform. It's taking place at a time when President Trump ill-treats women, particularly journalists. And just to see the contrast between President Ramaphosa and President Trump, it's quite fascinating. But it's something that President Trump will have to deal with when he become the chair of the G20 next year.
I'm not sure if we're able to bring up some of the pictures there of what's taking place in Freedom Park, as Kylie Khumalo is there, French President Emmanuel Macron is there, and Kylie was speaking about the importance of that particular place, but also, Prof, it speaks about the history, right, as you were taking us back in time as well, and the history that would have been played by the French, and tonight, as he is there, as the head of state of France, it's important to also take a step back to the meaning of the relationship between South Africa and his country.
France is an important player in global affairs. It's a member of the Security Council. It plays a critical role on issues of climate change. The former colonial power on the African continent. It has played positive roles, but lately we have seen what's happening in the West Africa, a negative role that France played and continue to play. I think this opens a golden opportunity for President Macron to reset and recommit to the demands of Africans, fight for equality, and ensure that we no longer going back to an era in which the African continent is seen as a territory of other countries sitting somewhere else. And we have countries that, particularly the DRC, has minerals, and we need President Macron to understand the concerns of Africans, and therefore being on that important place, and also to look at the positive role that was played by French people. We also have to make a distinction between the French politicians and the ordinary French people that contributed and continue to play a positive role in global affairs.
Do you think he can, understand this is a different Africa that he's dealing with? Do you think he can?
He hasn't been fully understanding. If you look how he has been responding to coups in Madagascar, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and it will be interesting to see. But the other contradiction when it comes to Macron and France in particular is the fragmentation even of the global north itself. Let us not forget that France applied to join BRICS. And I think if going forward, I think what we're going to see with the changes that are taking place at a global level in terms of shift from a unipolar to multipolarity, I think we're going to see some countries within the global north joining or working closely with countries in the global south. And therefore, I think the overtures made by France and the countries such as Spain, in the next few years, we might have surprises seeing one of those countries in the global north joining BRICS, for instance. So those are some of things that might happen.
What would that mean, though?
It speaks to changes and issues that while we have this view of global north and global south, there are certain issues that cut across this north and south, particularly when it comes to issues of ordinary people on the ground. the only few people who are benefiting the economy, the 1%. But ordinary people, even though some of them are living in the global north, they have certain concerns that are in common with their counterparts in the global south.
All right, some of the visuals there that you can see on this side of your screens, if we are able to take them full screen, right, as we continue to monitor the arrivals of some of the guests as well as member countries of the G20 countries. Prof, the United Arab Emirates landing, we understand, tonight. And you think about the fact that it is participating, of course, as a guest in the summit. And when we think about its positioning,
very important. A member of BRICS, UAE is playing a critical role in a number of areas. I do not think that it shares common position with so many countries when it comes to climate change, for instance. It might take more or less same position as the United States in certain areas. But overall, I think they're opening up their own economy. They're modernizing when it comes to issues of artificial intelligence, for instance. Quite a number of other areas which are quite surprising. They are building what they call the desert safari. If you think of Kruger National Park, we're seeing a replica of Kruger National Park in the desert. And I think it's a lesson for us that let us not take things for granted, particularly the advantage we have with nature, the game reserves we have, particularly in tourism. We need to work with UAE, but also be very frank in closed doors on issues of critical minerals and ensure that there is regulated. We have a case such as the Guptas. This is a golden opportunity through bilateral to discuss and ease that pressure, that we apply law, we avoid our own friends dumping weapons or just buying minerals in a way or hiding money, which is the case with the allegation against the Gupta family. And this platform, as a member of G20, it's a critical, important country that plays a critical role in our own economy. They've invested massively in South Africa and a number of African countries, and therefore they are an important actor.
And you speak about the Gupta matter, for example, when we look at that application, and it seemed that at some point we didn't even know what decision had been made, and it seemed that things were somewhat taking a bit of a sticky turn. And one would then, look at this and say, how do you then begin to have conversations bilaterally, as you say, that are also going to speak about some of these issues, and quite importantly also speak about what then are the best practices that, possibly you do take, especially when you think about the issues of artificial intelligence. We can't run away from it. It is here. And as much as there's good and bad, but ultimately, as a country, you have to make it work for you.
We have to work with UAE. There are a number of programs that we could put in place, exchange of students, institutions of higher learning to work together on some of these key areas of growth in our economies, on people-to-people, understanding each other. They are home to a number of initiatives that they are taking, for instance, on issues of health. They are making UAE as one of the global hub for what they call this tourism health, that people with resources can easily go to UAE and get it. But these are some of the things that we can also do, and using technology, working with them, and as well as cautioning them in terms of areas of sensitivity, whether it's in the DRC. We saw the head of state and opposition in DRC refusing to speak to our own leaders on the African continent, yet they go to UAE and some of these Gulf states, leaving the continent, leaving the AEU Agenda 2063. So I think we can bring UAE to understand us much more broadly, so that they do not take initiatives that are destructive to our own development.